بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد, in the Tafsir lesson we stopped at ayah number 24. فإن لم تفعلوا ولن تفعلوا. If you haven't done it, you'll never be able to do. فاتقوا النار التي وقودها الناس والحجارة أعدت للكافرين. This ayah and the likes of this ayah, Imam As-Si'di rahimahullah ta'ala says, is called ayat at-tahaddi, the ayah of tahaddi meaning daring. Tahaddi meaning daring. But if you do it not, and you can never do it, then fear the fire whose fuel is men and stones, prepared for the disbelievers. Daring, Al-Imam As-Si'di rahimahullah ta'ala says, وَهُوَ تَعْجِيزُ الْخَلْقِ عَنْ أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ وَيُعَارِضُوهُ بِوَجْهٍ مِنَ الْوُجُوهِ. Meaning, تعجيز الخلق, rendering the khalq, daring the creation from bringing something like the Quran, or to contradict it in any way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ لَإِنِ اجْتَمَعَتِ الْإِنسُ وَالْجِنُّ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لَا يَأْتُونَ بِمِثْلِهِ وَلَوْ كَانَ بَعْضُهُمْ لِبَعْضٍ ظَهِيرًا. If mankind and jinnkind were to gather to bring something like this Quran, to produce something like this Quran, they will not be able to, even if they were helping one another back to back, helpers of one another. And then Imam As-Si'di rahimahullah ta'ala says, وكيف يقدر المخلوق من تراب أن يكون كلامه ككلام رب الأرباب. And how creation from sand is able to, his speech would be like the speech of the Rabb of al-Arbab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rabb al-Arbab, the Rabb, the Lord of the Lords. Or how would the one who is poor, faqir, naqas, who is lacking, min jami' al-wujuh, who's not perfect, who's imperfect in all aspects, will be able to produce or bring, meaning speak like the speech of the perfect, the one that has unconditional perfection and ghina from every aspect, and he's not in need of anybody in any way, shape, or form. This is impossible and is above human ability. And anyone who has any knowledge of the types of speech, when he looks at the Quran, the noble Quran, and weighs it with the other speech of those who are bulagha, the best and most rhetorically powerful of the Arabic language, it is evident for him the great difference. Some of the brothers saying it's 3 a.m. Yeah, it's after Fajr in Kuwait. Let's see, is this a good time or no? No, we are going through the lesson, the tafsir lesson. We're going through the tafsir lesson. It's today's lesson, no problem. We just are holding today's lesson early, just to see. Let's see how, is this a suitable time for some of the brothers or not? If we wanted to hold some lessons at this time. And in his saying, وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ, MashaAllah, Zain. No, it's not very early here. You're in Kuwait. It's after Fajr. Fajr is 1 hour ago. طيب. ما شاء الله محمد. ما شاء الله many of the brothers. اللهم بارك. طيب. وفي قوله إن كنتم في ريب إلى آخره. And in his saying, if you are in doubt until the end of the ayah, there is evidence, brothers, from here on, what Imam As-Si'di rahimahullah ta'ala is going to say, is going to be treasures that he is, يعني precious benefits that he is teaching us. So let's focus now. Leave the chat and focus with me. وَإِن كُنتُمْ فِي رَيْبٍ. And if you are in doubt, until the end of the ayah, Al-Imam As-Si'di says, there is evidence in this, أن الذي يرجى له الهداية من الضلالة هو الشاك الحائر. The one that guidance is hoped for is from misguidance is the one who is in doubt, the one who is confused. الذي لم يعرف الحق من الضلالة. The one who did not know or does not, the one who did not yet know truth, guidance from misguidance. This is the person that when the truth is shown to him, then حري باتباعه. He follows it, or most probably follows it, if he is truthful in seeking the truth. As for the one who is stubborn, the one who knows the truth and he abandons it, leaves it, فهذا لا يمكن رجوعه. Then this one, him going back to the truth, is not possible, because he abandoned the truth after it was made clear to him. He did not abandon the truth out of ignorance, so he had no other choice, or he did not know any better. The same thing for the one who is in doubt. The one who is in doubt, who is not truthful in seeking the haqq, the truth, in matter of fact, he has turned his back, mu'rid, he turned his back on it, and is not actively seeking it, exerting his effort in seeking it, then most probably this person is not given guidance. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. This answers a question, ya ikhwa, for us. Sometimes we ask, there are people that we showed them the truth, right? There are people that read the Quran. There are people that they were left speechless. We spoke to them, they were left speechless. They didn't know what to say. But yet they did not enter Islam. Yet they are and when we go away from them, they use the same arguments that they remained speechless with when they used it with us. So why would they go and say the same thing again to somebody else? They turned their backs on the truth. They are stubborn. They just want to reject. And there are many people like this, ya akhwa. They just want to reject. They don't care. They do not care. They are not actively exerting their efforts and actively seeking guidance. Subhanallah. طيب. وإن كنتم في ريب مما نزلنا على عبدنا. The word عبد here. Al-Imam As-Si'di says, and in describing the Prophet, the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, with ubudiyya, at this place, at this great place, is evidence that most certainly it is على أن أعظم أوصافه قيامه بالعبودية, that his greatest description sallallahu alayhi wasallam is his establishment, him doing and carrying out and establishing the ubudiyah, where no one else can catch up to him. From the awwaleen, from the first human beings until the last of them, from the first of the khalq until the last. This is what is meant. كما وصفه بالعبودية في مقام الإسراء, as he has described the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with ubudiyya in al-Isra. He said, سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا وفي مقام الإنزال تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا. يعني subhan, meaning we hold Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be above that which is not befitting of him. Subhan, we're making tasbih. الذي أسرى, the one who has made the Isra of his abd at night. This is Surah Al-Isra. And Tabaraka, meaning تعاظم جده وخيره. الذي نزل, the one who has sent down the Furqan meaning the Quran. And it was called so, ya ikhwa, I'm explaining, huh? And it was called so because it divides between the haqq, the truth, and falsehood. Upon his abd, so that ليكون للعالمين نذيرا, so that يعني he becomes for the mankind and jinkind a nadhir, a warner. Let's take a look at Surah Al-Isra. Let's take a proper translation, inshallah, from Taqiyuddin al-Hilali. Glorified, na'am, glorified. Subhana, glorified, but we explained what Subhan is. Be he who took his abd for a journey by night from al-Masjid al-Haram to al-Masjid. طيب, they translated it as only journey. طيب. And blessed be he. طيب, they translated, Shaykh Taqiyuddin al-Hilali translated the word Tabaraka as blessed be he, who sent down the criterion, meaning the divider of the truth and the falsehood, to his abd, that he may be a warner to the alamin, meaning everything that is created, yani to mankind and jinkind. Blessed be he. لا, exalted, أخي Muhammad, exalted is يعني تعالى, right? Glorified could be. The meaning of Subhan, as we said, هو تنزيه الله عز وجل عن النقائص وما لا يليق به. To hold Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be far above يعني that which is not befitting of him. That which is not befitting of him. And Tabarak, they said blessed. I remember one time, one of the ukhwa, one of the good students of knowledge, he asked me a question. He said, can we say about Allah Azza wa Jal, blessed be he? How can we say blessed? Yani somebody else blessed Allah Azza wa Jal? I said, this is not the meaning of blessed, the only meaning of blessed. I said, let's take a look at the dictionary. What is the meaning? So we started looking at the meanings of it, and there were meanings like divine is he. And I said, this is befitting of Allah Azza wa Jal. Say divine. But al-Barakah, ya akhwa, we have studied more than once what is barakah, is that it is goodness, an increase of goodness, and its long-lastingness. Yani the increase of something, increasing in bliss and goodness and so on, and it's everlasting. Yani it's long-lasting. This is barakallahu fikum. يعني put these minds also when you hear the word tabarak, because some of the translators, ya akhwa, they just want to have one word, even if it's close, but it doesn't give the 100% of the 100% the meaning. They put it as a translation. They say this is the closest word, so they put it. But we need to get into the definitions in order to know what the true meanings of this. طيب. وفي قوله أعدت للكافرين, and he's saying أعدت للكافرين, and the likes of these ayat, Imam As-Si'di says there is evidence for the madhab of the people of Sunnah and Jama'ah that the Jannah and Nar are created. In contradiction to the Mu'tazila. La, Tabarak is not exalted above that which is designed. This is Subhana. This is tasbih. Tasbih, we hold Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be above. And tabarak, fine. Yani it has the same meaning, but we're talking about the barakah. Yani fine, na'am, tabarak Allah wa ta'ala. Yani Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is above all of that. But the meaning of tabarak is that his goodness, his khair, his yani all types of goodness يعني if we say Allahumma barik li, if I say, oh Allah, give me barakah, what am I asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I'm asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to increase all the goodness that I have in my life, and that they become long lasting. So I'm asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the barakah, and we have explained this at length when it came in Tafsir Al-Allam, and I have quoted Sheikh Muhammad Hisham regarding this. طيب. Even it's made for the disbelievers. It shows the madhab of the people of Sunnah and Jama'ah that the Jannah, the paradise and the hellfire are already created. And this is in contradiction to the Mu'tazila. This is all what the Shaykh said. طيب, what do the Mu'tazila say? The Mu'tazila say that the paradise and the hellfire will be created on the Day of Judgment. Will be created on the Day of Judgment. Yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أُعِدَّتْ لِلْكَافِرِينَ. And they are made for the disbelievers. Already made. Past tense. أُعِدَّتْ وانتهى. طيب. So the Mu'tazila, they say, no, they will be created. Even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, already created. طيب. And in this ayah as well, Imam As-Si'di says that those who make tawheed, even if they commit major sins, they are not in the hell, they do not enter the hellfire for eternity. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, made for the disbelievers. So Imam As-Si'di says, so if the sinners of the people of tawheed, they are for eternity, yani forever, in the hellfire, then it wouldn't be made for the disbelievers alone. You see the fine understanding of the Shaykh. First of all, the Shaykh says, أُعِدَّتْ لِلْكَافِرِينَ, they are already made, because it's the past tense. And from the second word, the disbelievers, the kafirin, the Shaykh is saying, disbelievers, meaning the people of Tawheed, they will not spend eternity there. This abode is not made for the muwahideen. Even if they enter it, they will get out of it. It's the abode, meaning the dwelling for eternity for the disbelievers and not the believers. أيوة. أعدت meaning prepared. نعم أحسنت. Made, prepared. نعم أحسنت. Prepared is better than made. نعم. So it's prepared for the disbelievers. طيب. And this is in contradiction to the Kharijites and the Mu'tazila, the Shaykh says, and there is evidence in it that the torment is due because of its causes, which is disbelief and the different types of disobedience. طيب. طيب, the Shaykh there, he said Mu'tazila as well as the Kharijites. Kharijites, ya ikhwa, they say, I'm explaining to you, I'm not reading from what the Shaykh said. They say, ya ikhwa, that major sins, a person, if he does major sins, he dwells in the hellfire for eternity. The Mu'tazila said something similar, and this is what I want to explain. They said, منزلة بين المنزلتين. This is what they call it. Manzila, they have a level between the two levels. Or they say status between two statuses. Believing and disbelieving. They say they have a certain status that is in between believers and disbelievers. This is what the Mu'tazila said. So in this dunya, we treat them as Muslims, but in the hereafter, they will abide forever in the hellfire. And what are they saying? The same as the Kharijites. Just manipulation of words, as is normally the case for the people of philosophy and Ahlul Kalam and so on. So essentially, both of them are saying that when someone does a major sin, then he will dwell in the hellfire forever, for eternity. طيب. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, it's prepared for the disbelievers, not the believers. وبشر الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أن لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة الرزق قالوا هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل وأتوا به متشابها ولهم فيها أزواج مطهرة وهم فيها خالدون. Ayah number 25, let's see, Sheikh Taqiyuddin al-Hilali said, and give glad tidings, وَبَشِّرِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, to those who believe, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and do righteous good deeds. أَنَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ, that for them will be, أَنَّ لَهُمْ, we can add that certainly for them, or we can say that surely for them will be jannat, gardens, تجري من تحتها الأنهار, under which rivers flow. In parentheses he put paradise. نعم. كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة الرزق, and نعم, the parentheses here are do, paradise. نعم. We'll have that as well. كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة الرزق, every time they will be provided with a fruit therefrom, every time they will, كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة, every time they will be provided from it with a fruit, قالوا هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل, they will say, this is what we were provided with before. وأتوا به متشابها, and they will be giving things in resemblance. وأتوا به متشابها, and they will be given things in resemblance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said bihi, and they will be given them in resemblance. And the Shaykh says, i.e., in the same form but different in taste. طيب, this is tafsir. وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا أَزْوَاجٌ مُطَهَّرَةٌ, and they shall have therein أزواج مطهرة, meaning purified mates or wives. And they shall have therein, وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا, meaning, and there they shall have purified wives. وَهُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, or purified mates, we can say, and they will abide therein forever. And they will abide in it forever. طيب, this is a rough first translation. Let's see what Imam As-Si'di said. He said, لما ذكر جزاء الكافرين ذكر جزاء المؤمنين. When the punishment of the disbelievers was mentioned, then the reward of the believers was mentioned. As is the way of the book, as is the way of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He gathers between targhib and tarhib, between making us yearn and desire, targhib, and tarhib, as in making us fear and wanting to stay away from. طيب. Sometimes, this is one of the meanings, ya ikhwa, of that the book is mathani. This is what the Shaykh is talking about. Allah subhanahu, the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he mentions something, he mentions its opposite. When he mentions the disbelievers, he mentions the believers. When he mentions negation, he mentions affirmation. So mathani sometimes we translate it into couplet, something like this. It is coupled, meaning it mentions something and then mentions the opposite. Mentions the disbelievers, mentions the believers. Now, mentioned targhib, it mentions tarhib. Mentioned tarhib, it mentions targhib. Mentioned the hellfire and things that we should fear and that we dread. And afterwards, mentioning Jannah and the na'im of Jannah and the reward and things that we yearn for. نعم. طيب, ليكون العبد راغبا وراهبا خائفا وراجيا. So the abd would be yearning and fearful. so that he would be fearful and hopeful. فقال وبشر, يعني give glad tidings, أيها الرسول, O messenger, ومن قام مقامك, and those who have followed you, الذين آمنوا, meaning that they have believed in their hearts, the Shaykh says, وعملوا الصالحات, and they have done righteous deeds, the Shaykh says, with their limbs. فصدقوا إيمانهم بأعمالهم. Look, this is a criteria Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. The Imam al-Si'di says, so they have established the truthfulness of their belief by carrying out its actions, its righteous actions. ووصفت أعمال الخير بالصالحات, and good deeds were described as righteous, as rectifying, as righteous, because by them the conditions of the abd become salih, becomes righteous. لأنها بها تصلح, يعني it fixes and rectifies the conditions of the abd and the matters of his religion as well as his life, his worldly dunya. أيوة. And if somebody comes, the Shaykh is answering a question as if someone came and said, what is the meaning of salihat, a'mal as-salihat? Or what is the meaning of why are good deeds described as salihat? Yani fixers, rectifiers, righteous. Why are they called that? Al-Allama As-Si'di is saying they are called salihat because by them the conditions of the abd are rectified. By them the conditions of the abd are rectified, are fixed, rectified. He becomes righteous. Now, طيب. And his life, in this life and the hereafter. And by them, by the salihat, then the corruption of his conditions are removed and taken away. So by that he becomes righteous. He becomes amongst the righteous those who الذين يصلحون, look from the same word, the ones that are worthy of mujawarat al-Rahman in his Jannah. So give them glad tidings. That will be near the Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in paradise. So give them glad tidings that أن لهم جنات أي بساتين جامعة للأشجار العجيبة والثمار الأنيقة والظل المديد والأغصان والأفنان وبذلك صارت جنة يجتن بها داخلها, meaning gardens that gather the wonderful trees and fruits. Aniqa is something tidy, something that elegant fruits. والظل المديد, and the long shades. والأغصان والأفنان, and the branches. And by that it has become a Jannah. يجتن بها داخلها. The Shaykh is teaching us linguistically what is Jannah. يجتن meaning يستتر يا أخوة. This is the meaning. That you can hide inside of it. وينعم فيها ساكنها, and the one who dwells it is in bliss. تجري من تحتها الأنهار, that rivers under it flow. The Shaykh says the rivers of water, the rivers of laban, the rivers of asal, honey, the rivers of khamr. Khamr, how do you wine? Let's say wine. But of course the wine of the hereafter, ya akhwa, is not like in the dunya. يفجرونها كيف شاءوا. يفجرونها meaning they make it explode, but this is not what is meant. They make it explode. يفجرونها, what is meant, even linguistically, is that they make the rivers stream wherever they want. Imagine this na'im, ya akhwa. Imagine wherever you want the rivers to flow. It's according to your desires. يصرفونها أين أرادوا. Wherever they want, they make it stream. وتسقى منها تلك الأشجار, and these trees are irrigated by them. فتنبت أصناف الثمار, so the different types of fruits come out. كلما رزقوا منها من ثمرة الرزق قالوا هذا الذي رزقنا من قبل. Every time they are given, yani from its fruit, they say, we have been given this before, meaning that it is of the same type and description. All of them are كلها متشابهة, are similar. In what? Focus. In what? In goodness, deliciousness. It doesn't have any fruit that is spoiled, and they do not have any moment that is void of ladha. That is void of ladha, meaning enjoyment and deliciousness. Yani at the Jannah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us and you from the people of Jannah, we won't have a moment that does not have enjoyment and fulfillment. فهم دائما متلذذون بأكلها. They always enjoy its fruits. وَأُتُوا بِهِ مُتَشَابِهًا, and they have been brought it or brought them as يعني the fruits as similar. It has been said, the Shaykh says, قِيلَ مُتَشَابِهًا فِي الْإِسْمِ مُخْتَلِفًا فِي الطَّعْمِ, that they are similar in name but different in taste. And it also has been said, وَقِيلَ مُتَشَابِهًا فِي اللَّوْنِ مُخْتَلِفٌ فِي الْإِسْمِ, مُخْتَلِفًا فِي الْإِسْمِ, that they are the same in color, different in name. And it has been said, يشبه بعضه بعضا في الحسن واللذة والفكاهة ولعل هذا أحسن. And it also has been said that they are similar to one another in goodness, deliciousness, and enjoyment, and maybe this is better. Yeah, this is what the Shaykh sees, that this is what the Shaykh sees. He sees that this is the best saying. And by the way, he gave us the linguistic meaning of Jannah, التي يجتن بها. يعني Jannah has been called so because it is hidden. يعني the person that goes inside, he is hidden from the trees and the branches and the fruits and so on. And therefore the jinn are called jinn, by the way, ya ikhwa, because we do not see them. You understand what this word then means linguistically? I'm kind of hurrying up because I have to go to work. بارك الله فيكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت